Hey everybody, Coach Scott here from Rock City Boxing Apex PT, and this is your Friday challenge for Friday and then into this weekend. First thing this week is single arm push-ups on the wall, okay? So a couple different commands, things to think about when you're doing these. Obviously you're gonna put one hand on the wall and you're gonna step away from the wall. So the further your feet are from the wall, the harder this is gonna become. You don't really need to be far away from the wall when you're doing these, because we're actually going to be doing these for the back versus the arms and the chest. So what I want you to do is you'll put that one arm on the wall, and you're going to kind of just give a practice run of bending the elbow to come in and then coming back out, okay? So that is basically the exercise, bending in and coming back out. I generally recommend doing about 5 on each side so you don't get too tired, and you do the same thing on the other side. Now some things to think about for this is you don't want to sag your hips in like this, okay? When you're coming in. You also don't want to drop the elbow in when you're trying to come in. The idea behind these is that you go nice and slow. All right, so you're going nice and slow, and I'm thinking about what my back, okay, and my stomach is doing when I do that, and I'm trying to keep it as still as possible and as parallel with the wall surface as possible when I'm doing that, okay? So I'm not, coming all in here like that. I'm not dropping my elbow in, my hips out. I'm trying to stay nice and locked, nice and slow in, and then come back out, okay? You're actually gonna think about your stomach tightening and using your back muscles that are gonna help strengthen and support that spine, okay? So like I said, 5 on each side, you can switch back a few times when you're working on those, all right? No need to be super far away from the wall. Second thing this week is bear planks, all right? So for this one, you're gonna either use a bed or the floor, a mat if you have one. I'm gonna get down here on the mat, and you're basically gonna start in a quadruped position. Okay, so all 4 position, and basically instead of a normal plank where you're trying to have your feet out straight and holding it, what you're essentially going to do here is just think about lifting your knees straight up, okay, about 3 or 4 inches. So you're just lifting them up and then holding that position, okay, just like so. You're just going to try to hold that. It's going to work your muscles a little bit differently, and then back down. Okay, so you don't need to lift your knees up too high. You're not trying to come up into this position. You also don't want to have them too low. You want to think about maybe your shin bone being parallel with the floor. You're just going to hold that position. All right, if you want to make this a little bit more challenging and progress this, you can kind of step to the side while you're trying to hold that same position. Okay, and that'll make it a little bit more challenging. All right, on those bear planks, turns them into a bit of a bear crawl. Okay. Third thing this week, again, working the lower body out a little bit now, is a side step with a little bit of a knee bend, turning into a little bit of a lunge exercise. All right, so you're going to step to the side, keep your toe forward, and then do a little bit of a squat, okay, and then back over. Same thing, keep the toe forward, a little bit of a squat. I'm watching my knee position on my squats. I'm sitting back, keeping my chest up, come back over, sitting back, come back over. So you obviously go in both directions, step over, keep the toe forward, sit the hips back, step in, okay? So you can work on those a little bit as well, all right? Fourth one, heel and toe balance is a little bit different. All right, this one's more of a coordination and a balance exercise at the same time. So if you need to be near something to hold on, that's fine, like a counter or a wall, just make sure you're nice and safe. So basically you're gonna line your feet up side by side, and you're going to alternate taking off one heel while the other toe comes off. And then alternating back and forth. So toe and heel, toe and heel, toe and heel. Okay? You'll be kind of surprised at how this takes a good amount of coordination in the feet, all right, and a good amount of balance. All right, I like this one because it simulates some of the movements that we make when we're walking with a heel strike and a push-off pattern of gait. All right? It's almost like you're running in place. You're alternating, bringing off the toe and the heel, okay? And again, if you need something there for balance, you can do that as well. All right? And then the last thing this week is working on your focus mitt calling, all right? A couple different ways to do this. Obviously, if you have a partner, it helps, so you can go ahead and get a family member or another fighter to help you with this. If not, all right, we're doing things a little bit backwards. I want you to practice doing the calling, all right? So instead of punching and saying, like 1 and then punch a 1, or 1, 2, punch a 1, 2. I want you to practice the calling aspect, but making sure that we're doing it correctly, all right? So we're trying to break the habit of calling and just keeping the gloves out like this and saying 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 4. We're trying to break that habit, and we're trying to present the correct target for our focus mitt partner. So if I was doing these, I would say 1, put my glove out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And you're gonna call it and then give the correct target as if you were with somebody else and they can punch it correctly. So break the habit of keeping the hand still and just calling out random numbers, and start thinking again of calling out a number: 4, 6, 1, 3, all right, and giving that proper target. Remember, on your 1s and 2s, you're basically trying to give them a nose to punch. So I'm putting it at my nose height or their nose height, and they can punch the 1, 2, okay? For a 3, 4, for a hook, you're trying to give them a cheek or the side of the head to punch. So 3, 4, you don't want to bring those down too low. You want to keep them up head level, 3, 4, and then 5 and 6, you're trying to give them a chin for the uppercut. So 5, 6, so they can get that nice good uppercut in there, all right? So practice those. A little bit of different things this week, a little different body parts, different things for balance, coordination, core strengthening, and then going back to some focus mitts work, all right? If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to help. Please be safe. Please try these. Of course, if you have boxing equipment, go ahead and punch that as well, all right? Remember, fight back and reach your apex.